if you're sitting there like in some sort of stable relationship and then you're commenting on, wanting to get pile driven or something, you might have to answer some questions on the home front.
Maybe, but it's ways that you could comment and
Bubba,
stuff like that.
not everybody's clever as we are.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it just is like, what the hell?
Even like just having fun with it though. I mean I know in a lot of respect like we're different, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel good. It was a strong show.
No, I really like it.
So whatever. That's what we strive for. Just knock out good shows.
We're knocking out good shows, making good content, and you have to get up to our level.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
That's what it is.
Did you watch that? Did you watch Terrence Howard on
No,
Joe?
I missed
Joe Rogan?
that. But like, what did he say? Because it sounded pretty wild.
It's not. I mean, it depends on what you feel about it. But so apparently we're just finding out over the past couple of months that Terrence may be a budding genius. He's either a
budding genius.
He's either
50 years old.
I know, but it's newfound on us. You know what I mean? So that's why I use that term. Finally, college pays off. So yeah, so it's either that or it's the complete opposite. Because when you hear him, he's talking about shit that is beyond, regular comprehension. It's like, so he's talking about fucking recreating the I don't want to miss but whatever pie charts and fucking recreating when he remembers being in his mom's stomach.
I'm calling bullshit on that. Nah.
That was within the first 10 seconds of a 3-hour interview.
Yeah, so you announce yourself as a fucking idiot. And then you,
I don't know, man.
That's stupid. Nah,
but you have to look at it because some of the stuff he had like what I'm trying to say, not facts, but he was backing up a lot of stuff he says with video evidence. Evidence is the word I'm looking for, and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff he's saying has to be legit because he had stuff to back it up. But stuff like that, of course, you can't.
But that's
so
okay.
I don't know.
We're not talking about a budding genius. I don't believe in people changing very much. So this hasn't been his lane for the first 50 years of his life.
He explained that though. He explained that. He was saying how
he took a deep dive into some weird shit on the internet.
Okay.
And he soaked it up, and he's basically adopting these things that he found on the internet as his own kind of like research and original thoughts.
Mm.
I mean, come on, the man hasn't made a movie in a while, and on top of that, like
he explained that too.
The last time we heard him though, he was bitching because he got underpaid.
Yeah.
So he's had a lot of time on his hands. So instead of masturbating, he's done a deep dive into weird shit on the internet.
I'm gullible, man. So I'm not fully with him, but I'm like, damn, it's kind of impressive.
He's an actor.
It's kind of impressive.
He's an actor.
I know. You have to take that into account too.
And then every time I said there was a thing, you said he had an explanation for it.
He did.
Of course he did.
He did. Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
This is calculated.
You think so?
Yes.
But you have to at least watch it first before you have a strong take on it. Like
sometimes
take a strong side.
There was a Malcolm Gladwell story. Do you remember that guy, Bernie Madoff?
Yeah, Bernie. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So the people that were around him in New York, like, thought he was a good guy and found it hard to believe that he was doing the things that he was doing. And because they kind of knew him, and their emotional feelings of like meeting him and connecting him created like an inconsistency with what the allegations were. The person that busted him was a guy that never met him and lived in another state, and he just analyzed his trades and his bottom line numbers and realized this doesn't make sense. This can't make sense. And then that's what ultimately was the truth. They weren't dissuaded by listening to him and maybe getting soaked in by his charisma and his story.
Yeah.
They just looked at the facts. I mean, Terrence Howard, you've been around forever, bro. You're not changing into a genius now. That makes no sense. Yeah. I don't need to watch you pretend to be a genius in an interview.
He was saying it's always been in him, and his mom wanted his brother to be an actor.
You know what's
and then as she was dying, he decided to become an actor.
Diddy's probably been in him. That's what's been in him.
Oh man, is your thing turned all the way up? I noticed this.
No, I don't know.
I noticed last week you were a little lower than us.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So as long as you're all the way up, you'll
I don't
be fine.
hear myself as well as I should.
Yeah. Last week you were a little lower than us.
Yeah.
But they still understood. You guys are you guys are on the bench podcast. We're just talking a little bit about Terrence Howard as we open the show. Don't forget, On the Bench podcast is available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Okay. As always, we got that's not it. Okay, we got a really good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking a lot of sports. Okay, it's NBA playoffs. Also, surviving Diddy. We got some Diddy stuff going on, and as always in the news as of lately here. There's always one entertainer that just goes nuts. So, okay, we got a guy Ant walking in. Okay, we're a little low, right? Oh, well, I thought Pink was a little bit. That's all.
Pink was that. Pink hears himself a little bit better right now.
He should be on 3.
I'm on 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's on 3.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate you.
I can hear myself better now.
Yeah. We're good.
I just hope Terrence Howard heard me in the first segment. Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I want him to know I'm on to him.
We got our guy, Mr. Carter, in the building from Orange County Urban Media. Correct? Yeah. So we're going to be talking some NBA playoffs with him. He's an Orlando Magic fan, so we'll talk a little bit of that as well.
That's him picture right there in the middle, ain't it?
That's him picture right there in the middle. All right. Nice little car seat picture there. You know what I mean?
He's in a child's car seat?
No, man.
Oh.
What I wanted to start off with today, it's been a while, and we didn't have time last week for it. We let our guy do the story. But another story, man. And you know what?
Oh, good.
I went into the cellar, and I have about roughly 8. I got another 8 to 10 more stories to tell. So we'll get cranking on these. And I never told any.
Only 8 to 10.
More.
Okay, I feel like we're in the final season of Bubba now.
No, yeah, I know, right? well, as you say, you don't want to go too long. As you keep going, these stories are gonna get weaker and weaker. But I never even told like the Atlanta anything that I've ever done in Atlanta. I haven't told any of those stories.
Only tangentially the one with the crazy girl, because it was like
yeah. Because it kind of it went from Orlando to Atlanta. That was That's a good one. That's a good pull. But that was been it. And I did some interesting things in Atlanta.
Bubba, the Atlanta years.
The Atlanta years, man. But that's not today. But I'm here to tell you, you're gonna want to catch those. Today I was this came across my memory actually, and I tell people a lot that I am. I'm a hood baby. I'm not a street guy. You know what I'm saying? But we all were in the same area. You know what I mean? We all in the same neighborhood. You just do different things.
How do you make the distinction?
Well, street guys, they hustle. They sell drugs, or they break in houses, or they
Street guys are into illegal shit.
They do illegal activities for funds. Yeah, hood guys are just in the hood. They may have a hustle. They work and have a hustle, but their hustle is usually something relatively clean. You know what I mean?
Relatively.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah, relatively. Okay. The guys gonna dib and dabble. I told the story. I dipped and dabbled in a little fake money, funny money.
Yeah. You also stood by at Albertsons while they robbed the place blind.
Oh man, wink, wink, right? I'll pick up my bottle of brown later on tonight. But yeah. So I'm here. I'm about 16, 17 at this time, and the problem is, I'm in the hood. I'm 16, 17. My friends, they are athletes, so they're always gone.
Okay.
So I'm by myself. So you got Greg, Low. They're either playing football or basketball on for Winter Park High or Edgewater. Trap, all these guys, and so I'm left. I'm working at McDonald's at the time. And my side hustle right now is clean. I go and I clean fucking toilets for Calamari Business Service. My granddaddy owned this. Well, he was like this district manager for this janitorial service. So I'm working at McDonald's. I'm going to school, and I'm also doing side hustle, cleaning up dirty bathrooms while I'm in
It
the
was just
10th and 11th grade. Well, that's what you get stuck with when you're
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
16,
They're
17.
cleaning the whole structure.
Yeah.
But Bubba, you got the bathroom.
You got the bathroom.
Again.
But you better believe it.
Hey, on that, I went to Top Golf today, and I had I dropped a deuce in the bathroom there, and it was so magnificent
Oh my God.
that it left like a huge skid mark on the back of the bowl.
Yeah, I hate guys like you.
You hate
Yeah,
guys
you're the
like-
guys. You're the guys I hate.
I literally could not have been prouder. You remember that Conor McGregor thing when he walks out like this?
Yeah,
That's how I walked out of the bathroom.
that's sick, man.
You couldn't tell me nothing.
That's sick. So, so I'm here, and now I'm left with I'm left with the street guys. You know what I'm saying? So I would go. I'm playing tunk for money and this and that, and my sister at the time, she's dating she's my older sister. She's dating this she's dating one of the, a big dope guy, right? He sells dope, sells drugs. And this guy, I mean, he got everything that I could ever want. He got this big Escalade truck with fucking 28s, 30 rims, all the music, okay? He walks around, anytime he walks around with nothing but like cash. You know what I'm saying? This is back in the day anyway, so a lot of people had a lot of cash, but all he had was big wads of cash, okay? And all the way up until I was like, whatever, mid to late 30s, what I'm about to explain, I thought like it was cool and he was doing me a favor. But as I get older, the older I get, I said, damn, he really was a piece of shit for that. So
Okay, where did this go?
so I'm walking home, and he pulls up and tells me to get in the car. And he says, yo, listen, man, I know what's going on. And he's telling me because, at the time, we're in a situation that we are because, my parents are they're functional, their functional habits, drug addicts at this time. And a lot of people in the hood are, and they either that or their parents are all the way messed up drug addicts, you know what I mean? So it's one or the other, okay? And then he says, so I know you're struggling and you're going through that and you're working and you're paying bills, okay? We got another audio issue? Oh, we good. Okay. And all that. And you shouldn't be doing that, man, at this age. You know what I'm saying? He said, how much money you got right now? I looked in my pocket. I had $0. I had nothing over. I had like 30 cents in my pocket.
I was going to say, if you had zero, did you really have to look?
No, I know. I had like 30 cents. I had some change in my pocket. And he's like, listen, man, come work for me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna spot you a 50-pack, and then I'm going to show you everything you need to do and everything like that. It'll be easy, man. And the thing is, to be completely honest, of course I said no, but I was scared. You know what I'm saying? I was afraid. Not afraid to actually, do it, because I feel like doing it is easy. It's I've seen, I can fucking make crack cocaine now. Like I've lived in crack houses long enough, you know what I'm saying? I could know how to cut it up, I know how to cook it, all that stuff. And serving it is fine. The problem is when the problems arise, what are you going to do? That's what I was afraid of. And then after that, the repercussions of it, I was really afraid of. I just don't see myself as a jail guy. All right. I just don't see myself surviving. I'll be honest with you. So, but on the front end also though, like it's like if a junkie, not all junkies are these old, 50-year-old women that'll give you head if they don't have money, or the small, scrimply guys. Some of these, the drug addicts, they're regular people, kind of in shape, but gotta do stuff. And those are the ones they might run off with your drugs one day. That happens to like thousands and thousands of drug dealers. Then you have to like make you gotta
Make a decision.
not only make a decision. No, the decision is you have to do something to them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You got to do something to them so it won't happen again. Because if he takes it, then he's gonna tell all his other buddies, "Hey, man, this guy's easy."
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to make a decision to do something, or maybe you need to get out of this.
Yeah,
for you.
And I've seen that happen before. So I I'm scared of that. And then also, like I said, I'm scared of prison or jail or whatever. And so I tell him, I tell him no. And then, he gives him some money and I walk out. But my point to that is, first of all, your life is completely different if you take that route, right? And but a lot of guys my age at that time, especially in my neighborhood, they were making money, they were screwing women left and right, and we had 16, 17. I hadn't done that yet. I haven't had sex yet. I'm broke. I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to school. You know what I'm saying? And these guys got cars. They got women. You know what I'm saying? They got all this stuff. And I always think to myself like, damn, I probably should have done that. I probably should have done it. And I don't know. It's crazy. But then and also, like I said, I think like, damn, he was really a piece of shit for doing that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And maybe that's how he did it, was getting kids in the hood to work for him and run for him.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
That's the, like, people that, like, when you're in that and you're in a lot of stuff, like, you are looking for the vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
What he's offering you is super attractive.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you're in this situation, you don't have money yourself, you're dealing with things in the home front, see people your own age that are doing seemingly a lot better.
Yeah.
This is how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And he's approaching you. Like, if everything was great in your life, like, you're not the guy to approach.
Yeah.
But because of all the situations that you had going on, he knew you were vulnerable. It's worth a run. That's exactly what it is. I mean, the crazy thing is that same psychology applies to, like, church. It applies to Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
It applies to, so many other things where you're taking a vulnerable person. That it does. It also is for sexual predators.
Yeah.
Like, you are going for, if there's so many like little moves or whatever, but like, a sexual predator, like, we had one at my elementary school. Like, my 6th grade year, he was the music teacher.
Oh, wow.
He got arrested for molesting boys in the school. And the profile of the boys, like knowing what I know now, this was a roughly 40-plus-year-old male. He was not married. He did not have kids of his own. He had sort of effeminate mannerisms and gestures. And at the same time, like, every year that I knew him, he coached Little League baseball and he coached basketball. So and he was not an athlete. It wasn't a sports guy. But he basically had this lifestyle. He didn't have a family or his own kids. His life revolved around putting himself in position to be around young boys. Now, the ones that actually were involved in the activities fit the same profile. They were all boys that had, like, a divorced family or a dad who was not, in their life. And that was his role. He was come go on my baseball team. If, you need, your mom's busy, you need ride to practice, I'm your guy.
Right.
And he insinuated himself into the family, gained the trust of the mother. So the mother's not thinking anything's funky. Oh, that's Coach so-and-so. He's, he takes the boys to pride or whatever. And they were seeking the vulnerable person. And that's what he did that with. He wasn't doing it to some other guy in the Little League whose dad was a coach and, like, present in everything he does. So that's what predators do.
Yeah.
And that's what that guy was.
Yeah.
And he saw you it just lined up. Oh, look at, Bubba's in this situation. Let me make a run at him.
Yeah. Vulnerability.
Yeah. To your credit, Bubba, you resisted. You said no.
Yeah.
Just like Nancy Reagan wanted you to back then.
Just say no. All right. That's enough of that. we'll get to some coochie stories. Another episode there.
Yeah, that was coochie free. Just passing reference to other guys getting girls. Very disappointing coming off last week's show.
I know, right?
Got to know our audience.
What a turn. What we're going to do here, we're going to take a quick music break here with Bae Bubs. Then we're going to bring Mr. Carter on, talk some NBA playoffs, basketball, all that good stuff.
Let's do it.
All right, be right back.
Yeah, I try to bust my groove.
Hey, fix the radio.
Nah, keep it funky like Jumpstart. Nah, come here. Nah, come here. Look, I been a player. Bitch, I got this pimpin' out the refrigerator. Demonstrator, she gon' get this dick before I dinner date her. Renovator, move this house around before she miss a payment. Kiss the pavement, I thank God cause I ain't shit to play with. She put her lips on Bae Bubs like you kissed the mayor. This how I feel with ice cubes inside the ventilator. Gabos, this Fat Anthony and this is Carlos. Chuleta over Aros, no license for this gun, I'm Monte Carlo. Came through with that drip, babe, I'm a snot nose. I pull up your sip, but we finna dip like potholes. She got me on speed dial, she'll have me blocked though. Pussy brown, but she wipe me off topic. So this for the skinny girls and for the thick hoes. This for them girls with the pants with the slits though. We throwing parties with a motherfucking rent low. This bust it open, keep it open like the window. This for the skinny girls and for the thick hoes. This for them girls with the pants with the slits though. We throwing parties with a motherfucking rent low. This bust it open, keep it open like the window. She want the Huxtables, I'm thinking the Winslows. Just got that 88 SD from my kinfolk. This ain't no fetty, this that clean if you didn't know. My driveway on Christmas Eve, I got big snow. Right, not like Sarah with the Daisy Dukes like 1982. Throw it back like we playing catch, but I can't play with you. If you bust it open, I'm a nut. Baby Ruth, had them titties sit up in that shirt, that's why I'm big. This for the skinny girls and for the thick hoes. This for them girls with the pants with the slits though. We throwing parties with a motherfucking rent low. This bust it open, keep it open like the window. This for the skinny girls and for the thick hoes. This for them girls with the pants with the slits though. We throwing parties with a motherfucking rent low. This bust it open, keep it open like the window. Come here.
Oh yeah, y'all done checked in the 1887 FM. Underwater Express right now. Y'all better get tight. Y'all better put y'all belts on right now. Matter of fact, if you ain't got no gills, you ain't ill. Matter of fact, if you ain't me, you ain't trill. If you ain't Bae Bubs, you ain't from under the water. Matter of fact, bitch, I'ma clear. Matter of fact, we looking for your mama and your daughter. But we just gonna get back to this shit. Just a little touch.
All right, you're back on the bench. That was Bae Bubs with Just a Touch. All righty. Let's get into some NBA playoffs with Carter here. Okay. Now, of course, you have the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. We watched the Indiana Pacers blow a game, game one. When you're the lesser team, when you're, the team with the less talented team, you have to take advantage of opportunities like that. Now, everybody's talking about the foul, but also, there were a couple turnovers as well.
Yeah.
And really, there's two things I took away from the game. Number one is the Pacers got really nervous down the stretch. It was just pure nerves. Halliburton is one of the best per point guards in the league, like top 3. He just lost his dribble, speeding up when he should have just been slowing down. Like, he knows all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But he's just so fucking nervous, you know what I mean, that he just, the ball just goes out of bounds, you know what I mean? And then on the foul.
To be fair, though, he's not a ball and a string guy.
He didn't have to be.
No, I know,
it wasn't that situation.
He's not. I mean, although he's a very good point guard, he's not an elite ball handler.
No. But in that situation,
you can't make that mistake.
You just can't make
No,
that mistake.
agreed.
It was more of a mental mistake than a skill level mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the foul thing is interesting because I don't think he could have fouled in that situation, because of the way the play ran. First of all, it was a great action. Okay, I know it's a simple action, but it's a great action. Between what was that, Holiday and Brown? Oh no, it wasn't. It was the guy who just went bald.
Derek White.
It was Derek White and Brown.
The guy who just accepted being bald.
Yeah, the guy who just accepted being bald. And then, they didn't switch, right? Him and McConnell did not switch. Siakam and McConnell. That's what should have happened. Being that Brown gets a clean catch, but when he gets the catch, he's in shooting form. So you cannot. Siakam could not foul because anytime he fouls, Brown is just going to go up, man. All of these NBA guys are so talented with drawing that type of foul. Embiid and Harden being like number one on that list, but all of those guys can do it. Once you get it, he caught the ball in shooting action, and he's just going to foul him, and he's going to get 3 free throws.
You literally, a couple things go into that situation, and I am a foul when you're up 3 guy.
Okay.
I'm with LeBron on that 100%.
Yeah.
But critically, like when you're setting your defensive structure, the key that you're looking to do is you can give up a 2, or you have to have them catch away from the basket, meaning their body is facing away from the basket.
Okay.
And so that gives you the window to foul.
Yeah.
Because if I'm catching the ball and the basket's here, I have to do something to turn my body. And that, whatever fraction of a second that is, that's the fouling window. If you don't do that, if you allow a guy to catch to the basket, it's a far more risky play. So you've got to structure your defense where you're playing to make them catch with their back to the goal, or 3/4 to the goal, so you have that window to foul, and then you absolutely got to foul. It's got to be unequivocal. But yeah, when you catch in that way where you're already close enough to a shooting motion, you're putting a game in the hands of the referee.
Yeah.
But but even still, if you're committed to the strategy, like if you come out, we are fouling, I think you live with that foul because it's not beating you, and he's got to hit all 3 free throws. Exactly. But if we're leaving the huddle going, we are fouling, unless he's clearly whatever, I think you still live with the foul if that's the plan.
But then also, it's not a 3-2-1 situation. Like, there's time left on the clock.
Right.
So it's like, once he gets it in that scenario and you're right up on him, I don't think Siakam is thinking, damn, this man he's going to just take a shot right in my face, because there's still time on the clock. Maybe, it's still time for him to move the ball. And then what about
But again, that's why you have to have clarity of plan. Because again, if he catches with 2 or 3 seconds, is he looking to shoot, or is he maybe looking to do something else, which gives you the window to foul?
Yes.
Your worst case scenario is he receives the ball in a manner that allows him directionally to shoot, and then he goes into the shoot. But what I'm saying is, if we leave the huddle committed to foul, we're gonna do
just
that.
do it.
Unless it's so like just a dumb foul.
And he said they did.
Yeah.
He said that was the directive.
Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It was a JV basketball game at Oviedo, and again, I was at Winter Springs. I was at Lake Cal. My Ray Ridenauer, who was batshit crazy, was at Oviedo. We're coaching a JV game. We're up 3, and they're inbounding full court. He knows 100%. I'm saying foul. There's like 6-7 seconds left. And I tell my team, we foul on the catch. And everybody goes on the court. My guys don't foul. His guys are bewildered because they're expecting to be fouled. They dribble it up the court. They then get into a shooting motion. We foul him then, like completely being stupid. And my guy's like protesting that he didn't actually foul him. And the son of a bitch missed one of the free throws and we win anyway.
Oh.
But me and Ray after the game were laughing our asses. I was like, I thought you were going to foul him. I did. These motherfuckers didn't do it. Sometimes that's how it goes.
What's your thought, Carter?
Well, when you, like Charles Barkley said that, like when it comes to, somebody going to shoot for a 3, you're going to foul. Because, you want to take the chances at the line. If they're going to beat you at the line, fine. There's a possibility that they're going to miss. And I don't know what Jaylen Brown on
Free throw
throws percentage is. But I would have took my chances of fouling him, and I would have been okay that we would win in overtime of him shooting free throws.
Yeah. Now we move on from there, right? Is that a serious blow? I mean, everyone is picking Boston anyhow. We know they're a more talented team, but how big of a blow is that to Indiana's chances?
I don't think it was really too much of a big chance.
Move the mic a little bit more to your
Oh,
mouth.
my bad.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
better.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I think, me personally, if I was them, I wouldn't be so upset or down. If I was Boston, I'd feel some type of way
Why?
because, you supposed to, because the spreadsheet was they supposed to win by 10.
Mm.
I disagree. I mean, I think if you're Boston, you realize you didn't play very well, but you won. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So you move on saying, hey, we clean up our game. We take our 2 games on at home, and we go to Indiana ready to win. For Indiana, I mean, the reality is you've lost a great opportunity. You put yourself in position to win, and you fold it. And that's frustrating. And but mentally, you have to let that go for game 2. You can't carry that mental baggage into game 2.
Well,
You've got to go into it and say, hey, we had them on the ropes before. We can finish them. We know we can play with them. They're not better than us. That's your mentality.
Yeah, and also when I look at at Indiana, ever since they made that trade for I can't pronounce his name,
Siakam.
they have been a better team, as in offense. Well, they always had a good offense, but I think they really gave them that little extra season that was missing.
Yeah, for sure. Siakam provides them with the it's like versatility, as a player on the wing that could do some extra things.
Yeah.
And then match up defensively as well with other teams. But as far as especially with Indiana goes, because moving forward, they still get to protect home court after the second game. Game 2 is going to be in Boston. Okay. Now, do you like that Halliburton came out and said that Drew Holiday is like the best defender in the league after game 1? Like we know what Minnesota and Denver was saying after the series was over and some other series as well. But do you take anything away from that?
No, because you look at Drew Holiday, through his career, prime example, you look at how Milwaukee is without him.
Yeah, but the question is that it's not a statement of Drew Holiday as a player. It's a statement of, in the context of early playoff series, what benefit do you have in making that statement? Like, why does Halliburton say that?
Yeah.
Is it reflective of Drew being in his head? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that you're going to get in Drew's head by saying something like that either, or you're going to lobby to the referees maybe, because Phil Jackson was the master of that. Like, he would just kind of casually mention something, expecting to get calls in the next game. So, is he playing that game? I don't know. I don't see the point in it. Unless it's like a collective messaging thing. Like, if you're going to go into collective messaging and just be like, man, this Celtics team's unbelievable. I don't know how we're going to stay on the court with them. And then internally, like, we're going to fuck these motherfuckers up. Like, but I don't know that it was part of that
That's
sort
something.
of coherent.
I mean, it was an answer to a question of, why did he struggle down the stretch? What about his inefficiency? Things like that. And he's like, you got to look at this guy on the other side of the court.
Yeah.
Like he's the best in the business type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look, he has a history of being a great defender.
Yeah.
You can, like I said, you can sit there and tell that the Milwaukee Bucks really miss him because you look out how bad they was on defense this year without him, and you see Boston, they was already a good defensive team. He just amped it. It just gave them just that steroid that amped up their defense.
You know what it could be? I mean, it could just be Halliburton just sort of being like an honest guy.
Yeah, that too.
He just could have faced the question in the moment. And this is what I feel. Like, I think, my feeling of him is that he is a pretty genuine guy. Like, I don't think he's a lot of gamesmanship. I don't feel that about him. I think he has a humility and a confidence to the way he plays. He's not delusional. And I think that that could have just been a sincere response.
to quickly go over this before we get to the Western Conference side. So you have the Drew Holiday comment, and then you also have Anthony Edwards, being shocked that he was left off the all defensive team. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. No.
Right. So yeah. And he was saying how, that's just ludicrous. It's crazy. And of course, we went through the Rudy Gobert and Wemby, because Rudy Gobert won his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award. To tie the loop on the Defensive Player of the Year award, it is really tough for guards to get that award anyhow. I know a couple have won it throughout history.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart being the most recent one. But the reason why bigs always win it is because that is the hardest position to play defense in. It's hard to take nights off protecting the rim because you're constantly put in pick and rolls constantly, and then also you have to protect the rim. Alrighty, guard your man, and then also you have to guard that action that I was talking about before the show, where you have to guard the roll man, and you have to guard the guard floater or layup. Like, that is extremely hard.
Yeah. And
then also they count defensive rebounds as a defensive stat. You know what I mean? So that's why bigs always get it versus guards. And this is going towards Anthony Edwards. Throughout the course of the season, it's damn near impossible for a premier guard to play the level of defense it will take to win these awards and be garnered as a defensive player.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly, Marcus Smart, those guys could do it because they're primarily playing on one side of the floor. Like, Anthony Edwards is not going to play this level of defense, and he did not over the course of the regular season. It's too fucking much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the level of defense he's playing right now. That's what it would take to garner these awards in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like right now is a crazy stat where this past series, any player that Anthony Edwards guarded averaged, was shooting 39% from the floor.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's bananas. But he's not doing that over the course of the regular season.
Well, the demands, I think you're close on this. The demands on the big players are so substantial.
Yeah.
And it comes from a couple things. Like, you can't get roasted in your individual matchup, but to be fair, they're usually not guarding a high touch guy.
No. There's only like 4 or 5 of those in the league, period.
But you also have sort of this collective responsibility to be kind of the read and react and director of the defense, and and kind of cover up all the gaps while simultaneously having an individual responsibility. So you kind of get to you're demanded to do a lot, but in that demand you're showcased more. Like a perimeter defender, really there's only 2 ways to distinguish yourself. One is to be like the 94-foot terror that just gets in somebody's shit every play and makes it difficult to advance the ball or get into anything. And that's an absurd work.
Yes.
And then the other thing is to be, and you spoke about it last week with Bronny, like, to be a true guard in the smaller sizes, it's hard to be the lockdown guy, and who just puts a wet blanket on multiple people, like peak young Dennis Rodman might, or Kawhi could in his defensive peak. So it's just the game's not structured for you to shine in that way, because your only pathway would be 95 or 4 feet of terror, or just an elite, like you put the clamps on somebody and they just don't function well. But it is what it is. There's a certain bias to certain awards, and I'm okay with that. I don't, but I mean, but you're saying he was mad that he wasn't even on like the all defensive team period?
Yeah, I know he wasn't on the first team.
Okay.
I know the first team was released. I'm not sure if the second team was released today as well.
Because he could rightly feel snubbed, because they're going to have some guards on that team.
Yeah.
And if he's just saying, I feel I'm the best defensive guard in the league, I could see where he's coming from on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be 100% supported by all the metrics, but I mean, I can see why he would feel that way.
Yeah. Definitely from the premier guards. I mean, he's there.
He was really good against Jamal in Game 7 in the second half. He really put in the work.
He was sensational.
Yeah.
And also he has to remember as well, though, this is the first year where they took the restrictions off. Like, in the past, it was position by
Oh,
position.
okay.
It's now positionless. So, for example, and I just thought about it when I'm looking at this list. There's 4 bigs, and the one small, and it's Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, Wemby, Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
And
so
the
yeah.
one non-center is Herb Jones, and he's what, 6'8"? You know what I mean? Whatever that is, whatever he
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
like he's
yeah.
a forward. So there are no guards on that first team.
Gotcha.
Now
gotcha.
the second team, so he wasn't on the first or second team, so that's what he's saying.
Okay.
He didn't make it at all. You got Caruso, who is a good defensive guard. Drew Holiday, the guy we just talked about. Jay McDaniels of the Timberwolves. He's been phenomenal.
Who and himself sings the praises of.
Yeah. Jalen Suggs, who's had a phenomenal defensive year. And Derek White.
So that's actually
That's a
kind
surprise.
of perimeter guard oriented, that second team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Most of those
interesting.
guys were.
Yeah. All the bigs made the first team.
Yeah.
And all the guards made the second team.
But I think
It's-
that's relative
that's-
to the
that's-
skew that we were talking
exactly.
about. Yeah.
Exactly. That's crazy how that played out.
Yeah, that is funny though.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly go over that. But yeah, I mean, he does. He comes with his lunch pail, man. He plays D. So I don't have an issue with him having a problem or
No,
saying
he,
something.
he should have a problem. I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
again, he legitimately feels that, and
Yeah.
he could rightly feel that, like, I'm taking my, like, if we're talking one possession end of the game, 24 seconds on the clock, I'm taking myself over anybody that you guys just talked
Yeah.
about. He could feel that way and be right.
And I don't know the metrics, but Derek White, like I mean, defensively, I would rather have Anthony Edwards than Derek White, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't pay too close attention to Derek White as far as on defense this year.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't know.
Who does? I mean, that's, no, and not just Derek White. I'm like, you're not watching most basketball games.
Oh yeah, anyhow.
Focusing on a singular defensive player's efforts.
Yeah.
And
Unless it's like loud and visible.
Well, or if you just go into a game, like there's games like so you've made comments about players, and then the next time I see that player, I kind of focus a little bit more on their individual game. What are they bringing to the table and whatever. But like, just if I'm just tuning into a general game, I'm not fixated on one player. I'm more the ebb and flow of the game and that sort of stuff. But if something's to my attention, and that's why the other genius of the Anthony Edwards comment, he can 100% believe it, which is great. And I think he's that type of guy. The other thing that it does is it brings attention to his defense.
Boom.
And so next year,
1,000%.
he's going to go into this with the reputation of, hey, let's focus on his defense.
1,000%.
Maybe he's deserving.
Yeah.
And if he continues on this arc of just being fucking great, he'll be on the first team just because he's great.
1,000%.
Yeah. But
That's a great point.
But for me, I mean, I still, in the modern era, LeBron in Miami is the best defensive player that ever walked the earth.
It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
What he did to Derrick Rose, that's just something I'll never forget.
He made him look like a JV player.
This is something I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Before the injuries, before is
He
Derrick
was
Rose
MVP.
Derrick Rose.
He was MVP Derrick Rose, and he could not function.
He just could not.
And there was still the one with KD in the final.
Yeah.
Where there was a fourth quarter where LeBron started guarding him. He had 0 points against LeBron.
Yeah. The OKC.
LeBron went to the bench with a cramp for like 2 offensive possessions. KD scored on both, which is like, yeah, KD's KD. Then LeBron comes back in, shut KD off again.
Yeah.
That shit's incredible.
Prime LeBron.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite
But
version.
also I was thinking about, also with the Minnesota being a small market team, when you're in a small market, you don't get looked as much like you would, like if you was playing like in New York or L.A.
Well,
That could play a
why-
factor.
Well, I think during the season, like, they're not. There wasn't a ton of games on from them.
Yeah.
And then, but that's why now the playoffs are so important.
Yes.
Because now, this type of run, and if it goes further, you set yourself up to be on 20 national games next year and playing on Christmas and all the big feature events that they're going to have the eyeballs on you. You become one of the league's glamour teams.
And that's why, the whole thing with the Orlando Magic by them making the playoffs was so important because, we knew within the city that they was a good team. But, like, outside, part of Orlando, part of people that barely watch the Magic, when they start watching the playoffs, even with the Cavs and, Magic series, they didn't – you watch First Take, Undisputed, they didn't really show anything for real.
Yeah, you're saying because of the small market, the
Yes.
small market piece.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the Magic, like, I mean, losing Game 7 was awful. Because I mean, we may have paid attention here in this market, but nationally, that was one of probably the least viewed series that we had. And then you lose in Game 7 to an unglamorous Cleveland team that then goes and gets beat, by the handicapped Knicks.
Yeah.
So I think that's that for the Orlando to establish more of a national footprint. This playoff appearance was actually quite bad.
Yeah. You know what else is funny? Because you guys were talking about, he was talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves as far as on TV. You're saying the national TV games will go up next year. A guy tweeted at Paulo and was like, it's funny how Caitlin Clark is on ESPN and on TV more than Paulo and the Magic. And then Paulo actually responded.
Yeah.
But he took the high road, which I thought was he should have did something else. But he was just like, "Oh, it's well deserved. She should right now. My time is coming." Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I
He
think
should have just said this is a failing of the national media
You know?
and ESPN specifically. We deserve better.
well, I look at it like this, 'cause when I watch the exit interviews of the Magic players, I think that Wagner, Franz, I think I know he's going. Way he looked like he took it real hard. I'm hoping that he'll come
He
back.
should. He played like dog shit in Game
Yes,
7.
yeah, he did. And
He should drown in his own tears.
He was out there looking like what's the OKC guard? The child pornographer rapist.
Josh Giddey.
He was out there looking like Josh Giddey.
And what I think with with the Magic, it was a good experience that it was able to go to the playoffs, because I was
Should've
hoping.
laughed at that. That's on me.
I think that it was the best thing for them, because one, the city definitely need for the Magic to go get into the playoffs, to get a taste of the of being being defeated.
I'm not a big fan of going to the playoffs just to lose and calling that a win.
I don't think it's a win.
Or positive or like because they've done it before. Like the Magic is not like they have a fucking 40-year drought of not making the playoffs. Like they've gotten into the first round and have lost before, and then they went on another 8-year drought of not making the playoffs again. Like I understand that you have Paulo and you're like, okay, my thing is here, like I do think the Magic are a good, solid young team. I don't look at Paulo as the Orlando Magic fans look at Paulo. I don't look at Wagner. I don't look at your players as the fans look at the players. Okay, I think that you need a stronger star, a stronger number one, and Paulo would be a great number 2 or 3 on a championship contending team. Okay, because the problem is, how are you going to? And I have this up on the screen now of they're eyeing D'Angelo Russell. This is the thing: Orlando Magic front office is already shaky to trash. Okay, they're in that lane. There's no good, great, better, some good days, bad days. There is shaky to trash is their front office. And if they think D'Angelo Russell is going to come in there and do anything, you know what I mean? And you're taking minutes away from Suggs. You're taking minutes away, whatever.
You have to trade somebody.
Did you see that?
It's terrible.
Did you see the thing today on IG that Minnesota, the 4 starting players with Russell instead of Connolly, was the worst statistical offensive team in the league last year, and you replace him with Connolly, and now
All
you're
of a sudden,
among the best.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
that's not a coincidence.
yeah.
Point guard is not the Magic weak point. They need a true shooting guard. 'Cause when you look at it, I think Pablo Cook, way how Pablo mentality is, he has that Monmouth mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because I done seen interviews of him, and just he really want to become that guy. Because even with the Olympics that he played, he knew that he wasn't gonna get in because of his offense. He knew that he had to do other things in order to get playing time, which it helped them with this sophomore season, as in rebounding, playing more better defense. And I only think that he's only going to get better because he's going to his third year.
Yeah.
I just think that for overall, he just need a better supporting cast. He need a shooting guard. That's the only thing we need. Shooting guard. We okay on point guards. If anything, we need to make a trade. I say make a trade or get rid of Wendell Carter. I'm not a big fan of Wendell Carter. I think we need to get rid of him.
Yeah, Wendell, I think you guys, gave him a contract extension like 2 years ago, so he's still there. He's not going to go anywhere. To improve the team, they do need to improve at the guard position. Whether it's point guard or shooting guard, doesn't matter.
Specifically shooting.
Yeah. It's, as long as it's a shooter coming in. And I understand the mind frame with D'Angelo because theoretically, he's a good shooter, theoretically. The problem with D'Angelo is in big games, tough games, games where longer defenders will have to guard him, he's awful. And he's a lower IQ type player, okay? The perfect player for Orlando Magic right now is kind of the perfect player for a lot of other teams. But the Atlanta guard, not Trae Young, DeJounte Murray will fit in seamlessly because they have the Orlando Magic had the number 3 defense in the league this year. DeJounte is going to come in. He's going to, he's not going to lose a beat defensively wise. He adds the scoring piece. Yeah, not the strongest shooter, but he's not a weak shooter. He's a solid.
Right.
He's a solid shooter. And then you have another guard who can provide action and get Paolo and Wagner the ball.
You'll be giving up too much to get him though.
No,
you're not.
No, you're not.
Not if you're trying to win.
No, you're not. Yeah.
You
got everything you need. The Magic got this. They have the second most money to provide.
Are you talking about? Is he gonna be a free agent? Or are you talking about trading for him?
You have to trade for DeJounte. You have to trade for DeJounte. But you got
all
all your
about
picks.
About what Atlanta want.
It's about what Atlanta can get.
Orlando Magic has
if
everything.
they feel like they need to make a move, Magic has young players. They still have some picks. You
all
can
their
put together a package.
You could
to do that.
1,000%.
If Murray wants out, that helps too.
Yeah.
I was,
and Florida's a non-tax state.
That too. I would say, to be honest with you, I know it might not be a sexy pick, but I'll go for Buddy Hill.
Buddy Hill,
you're not. Yeah.
No. Now hear me out. With Buddy Hill, okay, he's gonna say a good outside. You're not asking him to do much. You asking him to be a spot up 3-point shooter. We don't need so we already got people that can already create. Their own shot.
Here's the problem with Buddy Hield, though. You say all that, it sounds nice, but like either he's going to have a meaningful role or not, and there's an economic cost to playing him to give him enough minutes to do the shooting, but what cost? That's why Murray's a better option because he gives you good two-way play. He fits into and makes you better on both sides of the ball. Hield is just one, and you're going to sacrifice defensive minutes to accommodate his shooting. And at this point, he's not a starter. He's just a bench shooter. Like those guys get passed around like hookers at a truck stop.
But the thing about
he's an expensive bench shooter. And I know y'all got money, but you don't want to just.
But think about but think about it is you look at, what I'm saying, what Dante Murray did with the Hawks and did with the Spurs. It ain't too much of a big improvement.
Meaning what?
As in, like, they didn't make when. Let me ask you this: when Atlanta played this season, did they make a step? Did they took a step forward?
Yes, with Murray, they were a much better team statistically and record-wise with Murray and with Trae Young out hurt. Now you're not going to make the playoffs when you have your supermax player out. You're just not. If Paolo goes out, the Magic going to lose 20, 30, 40 games.
Yeah, of course.
But Murray was great. Now, in the reverse, when Murray was out and Trae Young was in, they lost a ton of games. You know what I mean? The impact is there for Murray. Murray, that he's known within the league, and also he's on a long. He has about 3 or 4 years left, and he's on a fucking team-friendly deal. He's not anywhere near a max. He's ideal for a ton of teams, and Atlanta knows they have. This is the year they have to pivot. They're gonna have to get rid of one of those two guards. Now, if you're a team, you have to get DeJounte as one of those two guards, and they're going to get rid of one of those two guards.
They're
They're just
gonna
going
get rid
to.
of if anything, they're gonna get rid of Trae Young.
The league doesn't know that yet. We don't know that yet because
I feel so as they will.
they will.
It might, and
maybe.
it might be the better move, but I think that there's, yeah, again, I don't know, I don't have a lot of trust in who operates the Hawks.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
They may
We don't
feel
know.
that Trae Young's a better commercial
He's the
player.
star. He's going to
Yeah.
sell tickets. Like
Yeah.
he's on the pamphlets. He's on the Hawks pamphlets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Front of the media guy.
And you have the number one pick, but nobody loves these number one picks. Like,
No.
yeah, if there was
None.
a true, like, whatever
Yeah,
star coming
This is a
out,
horrible draft.
you can pivot off him and be
Yeah,
okay, because
yeah.
then you'll just put this new guy on everything,
Yeah.
right?
But one thing I will say, every number one pick, the times that the Magic did get a number one pick, we end up going to the finals. You look at what Shaq.
Shaq and
Finals.
Dwight.
I said, with Pablo, I really feel that because you got to look at the president.
We're a
of-
long way from the finals, though.
I say probably 3 years. 3
Three
years.
long
it-
years, man.
3 years. It all depends on. To be honest with you,
It took Jesus 3 days to come back.
also what I'm looking at with the Magic is I'm looking at the people that had draft. Look at Anthony Black. I want to see how his summer's gonna be when he gained weight, and I want to see how.
I think Anthony Black is tits on a bull.
Bring it down like this.
Oh,
a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's not a difference-making NBA player.
No, but the thing about it is only his first year.
It doesn't matter.
But the thing about it, look, everybody thought that Jalen Suggs was done, but when he came back with that tremendous year that he had, nobody was expecting for him to have that year.
Jalen Suggs has, as a top 5 pick, has simply evolved into being a good two-way starter.
But
That's it.
But last year he was not.
He's more one way than two, but yeah,
he was
A
he
one
was
and a half way
he's
starter.
a 1.5.
he was a-
starter.
when him and Franz was drafted at the same time. People was looking more for Jalen. People were surprised about Franz. Jalen had to sit there and basically work on his game all summer. And he actually mentioned that he had to work on his game.
But the thing that's key that makes him a starter is what he had closer to the beginning, and that's defensive effort. Like, he's still not much of an offensive guy.
This what I want. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is the same point here I'm making. I don't want the Orlando Magic fans to become Dallas Cowboy fans in the sense of you got to be able to call out the guys, okay, and because you got to put pressure on ownership and on the front office to bring in better guys, okay? Because if you're saying that all of these guys are great and all these guys
Or
have
give
the
'em another
potential to
year.
be great, give them another year and do this and that, you're not putting enough pressure on front office to bring in better players. Like, I'm a 76ers fan. Pink knows, everybody knows, I'm quick on the draw. I've been on the get rid of Tobias and Ben. I'm a year ahead of time.
In the bedroom and
Well, the thing about it is the reason why the Magic are taking their time what they taking it because of you look at the media. When they talk about these teams, you talk about the Lakers, you talk about these big market teams. They don't really look at the Magic and if they was to put pressure on the Magic like they would do like with the Lakers, Golden State Warriors.
It's not about the media. It's not about the media.
that's not.
No,
it's-
no,
it's-
but,
it's- it's-
no, but the reason why I say that because, when you have people like Stephen A. Smith that has is real powerful in the media, if he would have sit there and actually would have somebody that's real powerful in the media was sit there and talk about the Magic, talk about how the choices they've been all these years, they need to do something. Because even when the Lakers wasn't doing that great, they were still getting media coverage.
But that's kind of just a non-issue.
Yeah.
Like, certain franchises, like the Lakers and to a degree the Knicks, are always going to have like a false media attention because of the market.
That
they're
just
in.
is
Yeah.
what it is.
The rest of the league, when you're in one of these other teams, you have to force yourself into the forefront of the league, like Minnesota's doing right now.
Of course.
You do that by winning. So the narrative around the Magic is essentially irrelevance until they make it something different. And that's why, like, shitting the bed in Game 7 of round 1 is a bad look. and they got to be better. But the pressure to improve immediately and improve significantly starts internally in the team front office and then in the community, because the national media doesn't give a damn about this organization.
No, they sure don't. And you think about it, ESPN is owned by Disney, and Disney is in Orlando. You would,
it don't matter.
You would think in a perfect world
The
that.
world's not perfect, man.
You know what I'm saying?
We
But I know that part.
we
But
have
in the
racism
perfect,
and poverty,
know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like,
pedophilia too.
that I understand that. But like in the
Okay.
perfect world, you would think that they would get all this type of media coverage, but it's not like that. But what I'm saying is, I think the Game 7, them losing, was probably the best thing for them.
How?
Because one thing, when you that loss, okay, prime example. I'll give you an example. When Kobe had played against the Celtics, right, and back in 2008, and when they got their ass blown out, and Kobe was like, hey, he like, hey, let's get to work.
But where did that loss occur?
It came to the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
But
that's the difference.
But I understand that. But at the same time, you gotta look at, but at the same time, they still didn't win anything. But you look at the Magic, when they lost in the first round, that 7th game. You gotta take that, like, you know what? We got a taste of how it feels to be in the playoffs. We like this. We want more of this.
That's okay. Internally, team wide, any loss, any adversity, you grow from. That's your job as the team. But we're talking about like the national footprint of the team. Your profile is much higher every round you go, and then part of that profile is who wants to come play in Orlando.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if you want to attract somebody better than D'Angelo Russell, like it helps if you really feel like you're that team, and you're not that you feel that you're showing the league that you're that team on the move.
But with the Magic, by them, this is actually a step to the new direction they have, especially with the not first year, but with Pablo's second year. They do have a great coach. I think he's a good coach.
He's really good.
He's good developing players from his background. Yes, the Orlando office always been shitty. Even back in when we had, John Gabriel. Oh man, don't get me started on him. Reason why we lost Shaq because of him. But, I believe that this summer, I'm not saying we're gonna get the best players, but I feel that we can have an opportunity to get some decent players. Then next season, I believe that next season the Magic can go to the second round. Maybe go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's comedy, man.
Reason why I say that.
Comedy.
Reason why I say that, when the Magic went to the finals and played the Lakers, right? Nobody did not expect the Magic going to the finals. Not at all. Did not pick them not going to the
Why?
finals.
They spent money
No, but the thing
on the right players. They got Rashard Lewis in there. They brought in Hedo Turkoglu. Dwight Howard was a much more prominent and more impactful player than Paolo is.
What I would say is, with the Magic, because they was the 3rd seed, Cleveland was the 1st seed, and Boston Celtics was the 2nd seed. Because let's keep it 100. The reason why the Magic was able to beat the Boston Celtics in the second round, because they didn't have Boston didn't have Kevin Garnett. If they would have had Kevin Garnett, we would have been talking about a whole different story.
That happens every year, man.
I know that, but I'm just speaking. I'm just talking about things in general.
Yeah.
Okay, but we went on that great run. But when the following year, when we end up getting a deeper bench, when it came down to when we played the Boston Celtics again, it came down to coaching. Because if you look at paper, we was better than Boston on paper, but when you had Van Gundy, Stan Van Gundy, he didn't play the players that he should have been playing. Some coaches, they don't, they don't adjust well, and he's a coach that doesn't adjust well. It took Dwight Howard to call him out against the Celtics that following year to know what I'm saying, to him to make adjustments.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. All right. Well, I just want to encourage you as we finish up on this segment here. I just want to encourage you and the Orlando Magic fans just to be more realistic and to put a little bit more pressure on the front office. Because and maybe it's going to take another year or two of y'all getting y'all ass whooped or maybe not making the playoffs. Then y'all might hop on the train, but by then it's going to be too late. But we're going to move along here, all right? And I could be wrong. Maybe Paolo becomes the MVP, and you guys go rocking.
I think he
Paolo
will.
will never.
Yeah, he will.
Paolo will
That's
never.
what they think, man. I'm telling you, I know. I
No,
talked to all of them. They all think that.
No, I'm not being in denial.
That's Jim Jones level delusion.
And they don't say maybe, they say he will. And that's what they
He
say.
never will.
Yeah,
I don't want to live. I don't want to live in a world where Apollo is the MVP. Of the NBA.
you know what, you might as well. It's not being delusional. It's just
He's horrible to watch.
I see the growth. You know what I'm saying? And
I see him hold the ball too much, and I see him settle for bad shots.
Best case scenario, he's baby Jason Tatum, and he's a best case scenario. He's a lower version of Jason Tatum.
No, he's more.
I don't see anything more than that.
Yeah,
And that's still a really good player.
I think he's.
That's all NBA third team.
I think he'll always be below Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Always be below Jason Tatum.
It all depends on his. He has the work ethic too.
And Jason Tatum would never be MVP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the point of me bringing that up.
I'm doubling down on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
No,
There's not. You're not looking what he does. Like he's.
You
not
can't
an
look at
MVP.
that and look at Anthony Edwards and say, you know what I mean? Anthony Edwards was like 6th place this year, MVP.
Yeah.
Like you can't look at that and then look at Paolo and say Paolo can overtake that. It just I don't know. I'm not looking at the same thing.
You can't know that Wemby exists.
Like he has to be still in the womb. Like
don't get me wrong. I actually thought that how Wemby was playing defense. I think he should have won it, but at the same time, when you look at it, they go by the record.
Yeah, record plays the impact in it.
Yes.
Let's move to here. Here, that's something that the record has taken impact on, and that's Caitlin Clark, who has not won a game yet. We actually had somebody comment something about Caitlin Clark. I don't know if we mentioned her earlier or somebody was just beating us to the punch. DJ here saying that he thinks Caitlin Clark is overrated. Besides breaking records, she hasn't won anything. But anyway, LeBron came out and said that he's rooting for Caitlin because he's been in that seat before. He's walked that road before. I hope she kills. First of all, LeBron, you have not been in that seat before. You have not walked that road before. The thing about the Caitlin Clark thing, yeah, she's struggling. They haven't won a game yet. She actually had a decent game in this last game, okay? And, yeah, it looks like players are hunting her. She's getting caught with, hard screens, and she's getting tossed to the floor and all of that good stuff. All right. But the problem is she was put in a situation to save the league. And then before she even plays a game, they're talking about her getting chartered flights for her team, and she's going to change that for the entire WNBA before she even steps on the court. Like LeBron, you wasn't in this. This is a different situation. This is like Larry and Magic and Jordan to a degree, and the Wilt and Bill. There only been a handful of players that's been in this situation to uplift a league that hadn't been doing well. Okay, just to put it in the lamest term. And if she doesn't turn it around, and honestly, she has to do it early. She doesn't have 4 or 5 years to develop. I don't know what people think. Oh, she's just a rookie. Give her 2 to 3 years. She does, the WNBA and her, they don't have 2 to 3 to 4 years for her to develop.
They've been mediocre for 2 or 3 decades.
They've been below mediocre.
Yeah.
They're probably like reaching mediocre level now.
But this is what I've said all along about this. Nobody is boosting this league much further than it's already there. Nobody. You're just not going to do it. Women's basketball has a certain level of audience. It's not a huge audience, and it's not something that's going to resonate. Caitlin Clark, as a basketball player, does not do anything breathtaking or amazing. Terrific shooter. Can score, but there's nothing that she does that is that breathtaking to see that you feel like you're seeing something that's really a human. Like, I don't feel like I'm part of the same species as that person. But that's athletic wonderment.
That's what. Yeah.
Like when you watch Usain Bolt blaze down the track, there's a part of you that's like, oh, great, he won, he's my guy. But there's also a part of like, nobody in the history of humanity has ever moved faster across 100 meters than that right there that I just saw.
Yeah.
You don't have that because you have some dude in the NBA that she can't guard and will do everything that she can do at a higher level.
Yeah.
That's just reality. So you're this notion that the league is going to blow up behind her, it's absurd. Like, I mean, the best case, and she's going to be punished for that, like, because the expectation is on her to do that, and it ain't happening.
Right.
So, the idea of it is, and the marketing of it should be that, we're creating names and personalities in the college game that are going to go to the NBA game, and we're going to WNBA game, and we're going to maybe do a better job of consistently showing these games in the national audience so that we build, incrementally a fan base that cares about this. But to put it all on Caitlin Clark is ridiculous because she's just not that good.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that now. And yes, she can work hard and this and that, and she'll probably get better if she has the character to do so. But she's never going to be a breathtaking athletic performer.
And the ones
that's
that
the reality.
and the ones that thought that, they should feel like idiots.
They should.
They just should.
And we can't forget the white piece.
That's
because the
a
white
factor.
piece is huge. Because this gets a bunch of like, ignorant white people fired up again to do something and watch women's basketball, and they feel like they could connect to her and this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a continuing sickening aspect of our country that race drives us in this way, and it unquestionably does. If Caitlin Clark was a black player, none of this happens.
You know how I know that?
Because I told you.
That as well. That as well.
You look at Angela.
No, not even Reese. You're talking about Reese. I want to go back a little bit. Candace Parker was a huge college basketball player.
Yep.
She was the best at that time when she was doing it. She won championships. She went to the WNBA, and guess what happened? Her first year, she won MVP. She dominated the league.
Didn't know that.
Her rookie season.
Yeah.
Do not tell me that Caitlin Clark needs 3 to 4 years to do this. If you're good enough, you will come right in and do it.
Right.
There's precedent. This is not fucking like aliens visiting Earth.
Yeah.
This has happened. Maybe that has happened too.
And you kind of went with the LeBron not being in the thing, but LeBron came into the league as LeBron. Straight out of high school.
No, for sure.
He immediately played well. He played consistently well. LeBron in 21 years has never had a sustained stretch of bad play.
No.
At any point in his NBA career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what great people do.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of it. And, I mean, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Jordan, like, they came in and the impact was immediate. It's not this slow ramp up to, oh, now I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, true greatness is what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You got something to say before we move on here?
Nah.
We pretty much covered it. Or you don't want to get on the bad side of the women? That's what it is.
I ain't get bad side of the women. It just when, like I said, when I look at it, just I speak on a little bit. When I look at it, of course, you see a bias. You know what I'm saying, with it.
Yeah.
Because when they, because you have fans that also like the Reese.
Yeah, Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, and I believe that it's more like the NBA looking for that great white hope.
Yeah.
Like the movie in itself. But the thing about it is, you can't do it like that. You gotta understand that she also played a big role in college basketball as well.
Yeah.
So you gotta market both of them.
Yeah, and that goes to what Pink was saying.
You can't market one without the other. That's like with the whole thing with with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. You couldn't market, Magic Johnson without Larry Bird, vice versa.
Exactly. We got some breaking news that they have. They've been releasing these teams. So we went through the defensive team that was the All NBA defensive team that was announced this morning. Now they have announced the big one, the All NBA teams. There's 3 All NBA teams. Okay, and this is so impactful because this goes to like players' contracts and things like that. And then also this is the first year where they had the game minimum. You had to reach a
65 games.
65 game minimum to be eligible to win the award. So I'll go to All NBA third team was Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Halliburton, LeBron, and Sabonis. Okay, Domantas Sabonis from Sacramento. Okay, second team Jalen Brunson, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi. Kawhi did play a lot of games this year, just not in the playoffs. There goes the trade-off.
Yeah.
Kawhi won his money, man.
I want Kawhi out of the league.
First team is Nikola Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis, and Jason Tatum. Giannis is interesting. I thought he missed quite a few games this year, but maybe he probably just made the cut.
Yeah, he was probably close to the
close.
The line of games.
Yeah, but he got in there. And that's a heavy first team. Also, Jason is the only American-born player in there. So dominated by foreigners there. What is some of your reactions? You think they got it with just these players mentioned? You think somebody should have been moved up or down?
I would not have had an issue if Ant was ahead of Giannis or Ant was ahead of Tatum. But I understand Tatum, had the best record in the league by a good margin.
Yeah, Tatum
and
I
whatever.
understand.
Giannis, again, I thought statistically he was good when he played, but I felt like he's in that trend where he's missing more games than he ever has, and on top of that, he got hurt at the end and wasn't available in the playoffs, so a non-factor at that point. So for Ant to be in that for either guy wouldn't have felt bad. Either way, but it's close enough call that that I'm comfortable with the first team, and Ant on the second. What was the second team again?
So you had Brunson, Anthony Davis, Durant, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi.
Yeah,
I would have had Kawhi on.
I'm not sure I would have had Kawhi on, and Anthony Davis is never more than a third teamer for me.
Yeah. That's tough. I did think that Anthony was pretty. I thought the AD was pretty consistent this year.
He had a solid year.
I thought he's pretty consistent this year. And but to have 2 All NBA players and your team to be 8th, 9th seed for the vast majority of the year, 9th, 10th seed really for the majority of the year. Then they had a late push.
Yeah.
Okay, that's tough. But yeah,
I do have a question to ask you though. You think that the Lakers head coach should have got fired?
Yeah.
Darvin Ham, probably so.
What was the point of bringing him back?
The point of bringing him back is that it's not that he did a bad job. He's just not impactful enough in this.
But it's the same argument that you made for the Magic. Like
What's
you
that?
have to put pressure to be better, and you had 2 seasons of Darvin Ham that were mediocre. He's
Better,
not impactful.
but better, as in, what are your other options though? Because the
You have
options,
to explore them.
that's what I'm saying. The options
You
that
can't
are
be fearful
available.
of that.
No. And I've always been on that in that camp. I've always been in that camp. But it's not. But I'm in that camp when it's glaring. I don't think it was glaring that Ham was a bad coach and he needed to be fired or replaced. I just thought that if there's somebody that we can identify as better, let's make the move. That's fine. But all of your options now, like for example, you got J.J. Redick, Sam Cassell, the Borrego guy. I think those are the 3 finalists, and it's like, well, Cassell and Redick, Redick has never coached at all, and Sam has never
I-
been anything other than an assistant.
But I mean, but at some point you have to get a job. And Sam Cassell, for me, has been a long-time assistant.
Yeah.
He's due for a job. If not the Lakers, he should be a head coach somewhere.
And he's interviewing every year. I don't know what he's
Yes.
doing wrong. I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's put in the work to be in that position. But to me, if you have a guy over 2 seasons that's just not impactful, you have to look at other options. And I don't think bringing him back a 3rd season is going to have this group galvanized.
I say, it might not be a sexy pick, but I say Mark Jackson.
Mark is just that ship has sailed like at least 5-6 years ago. He's just not going to coach an NBA again, and that just is what it is.
Yeah,
We know he's a good coach, and the fans want to see him get a job because he did a good job. He did well in Golden State, but of course the powers that be pissed him off with the religion stuff, and but that is what it is. But now, really quick here, back to on the Lakers here with that head coaching change or whatever. J.J. Redick and Sam Cassell. J.J. Redick is probably going to get the job. He's probably going to get the job, and then we'll just have to see where that goes. I don't know, man. I think he knows the game and could do it, but also you got to think roster. That's where my mind was trying to go. The GM, I feel like the guys who make roster decisions,
he should got fired.
We don't put enough onus on them. It always goes to the coach.
I agree.
And yeah, I think Ham could have been a little better, but it's like, damn, look at what he has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a ton to work with.
Not at all.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I really said, like, if you're J.J. Redick and you really want to coach, I wouldn't take this Laker job if they offered it to me.
Not at all.
Because you have a poor front office. You have a roster that doesn't fit, that doesn't go together, that's not championship character. And because of the Lakers, because of LeBron, you're always going to have an outsized expectation of what you should achieve. And you're basically walking into failure to take this job. And the other thing I said was when Luke Walton went from Golden State to the Lakers, I actually had a group breakfast with Bill Walton. And I asked him, like, do you think it's a good idea for your son to take the job? And his response was they're paying him a lot of money. This is a direct quote. But in reality, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, he went there to a dysfunctional roster.
Now, he's a bad coach, though.
Of
But, yeah, I understand.
Of LeBron wanting, getting out there, not jiving with the younger guys and this
Yeah.
and that. And it was a disaster, and it cost him his coaching career.
It was a bad
he had
situation.
one more little run in Sacramento, and that was it. And now he's not going to be a candidate to do anything forever.
No.
And that's a problem.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying now.
He could have stayed on the Warriors bench another season, 2 seasons, walked into the right opportunity,
Like Mike Brown did.
that would have been like Mike Brown did in Sacramento, and had a better opportunity to build a coaching career. But he took that job, that money, and whatever. I mean, he played for the Lakers on title teams and whatever. Scott Frost, that didn't work out good for him when he went to fucking Nebraska. These jobs are not always what you think they are.
But
When you have to be judicious in taking them.
But I think that when Luke took the job, it was no impression that LeBron James was going to be on that team.
Didn't he arrive that year?
No, he arrived on
The second year?
The second year. That's when Magic Johnson came in. And Magic Johnson,
I think it did go like that.
because Magic Johnson wanted LeBron. No, wanted to get a name, wanted to get the big name. And the thing about it is, my opinion, when I do look at that trade that they get to get Anthony Davis, all you got is one championship. That, to me, I feel like you lost more than what you gained.
I think that's more than fine on the one championship thing. Lord knows I'll give my left nut for Philly to get one championship. So I don't care what you have to do.
What about your right nut?
I'll hold on to that for now. But yeah, what that was fine. We all know that what stumbled them was the Russell Westbrook trade. That's what fucking killed them for a few years, a couple of years there. The AD trade is what it is. You have to go and get that level of player if he's available. It's kind of like what we're telling you to do with the Orlando Magic. Like, you just have to do it. Whether it pans out or not, who knows? But if you have a star on your team that you believe in, okay, and you don't have any surrounding cast that's going to get you to that level of championship contending, and there's a star-level player, two-way player, you have to go get him, man. You just have to. And it worked out to get a championship early, and now you're screwed now. But they didn't have to be screwed. They screwed themselves with the Russell Westbrook thing. That's what screwed them. Anthony Davis didn't screw them.
Well, they listened to LeBron James and Anthony Davis because they wanted to get Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. For sure.
And
For sure.
The thing about
That was player-driven.
As a front office, when you look at it, sometimes you got to put your foot down. Like, no, because at the end of the day, we know that chemistry is not going to work out. I already knew it wasn't going to work out because Westbrook needs the ball in his hands to be effective, and LeBron James, he needs the ball in his hands to be effective.
Yeah, that's on the peripheral things, but really it was just that Westbrook was just done as a premier basketball player, and they thought he had years left. That's really what it comes down to. Westbrook was not Westbrook. If Westbrook was Westbrook, it could have did some things.
I don't think he did anything to really improve his outside, his shooting.
No, not at all.
And that was the problem with Simmons. He didn't.
With Simmons.
Ben.
Yeah, we're gonna move past that. Yeah, we're gonna move past that. Let's quickly end on. We're gonna end on this Diddy stuff, man. All right. So yeah, me and Pink talked about this briefly on the phone, but after the casted video comes out, you have multiple people that have been, close or around Diddy, just like his ex-bodyguard here, now coming out saying, hey, I saw him being physical with Cassie and Kim and some other women. And I don't know. I just find that I find that a little, misleading is not the word, but I don't know. It's just a little screwed up, man. It's like, so now is your time to come out and say this. Why you didn't come out anytime before? Are you afraid? Were you?
Yeah.
No,
the see, I've seen that bodyguard talking before the video dropped in different clips and saying stuff that wasn't flattering, but he very he occupies a weird space. He tries to be, in some of his storytelling, the guy that would call Diddy out. Like I saw, he's talking about a story.
Okay.
He was talking about a story where Diddy was like super rude to his mom, and that he was in the front seat and he turned around and told Diddy this or that, and if he tried to do that, he'd slap him or something.
Yeah.
And that Diddy humbled himself and got through the ride. And it's like, you're this consummate tough guy, yet you sat there and took your check and watched this guy abuse people all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Do we need to hear from you?
No.
Are you a fucking guard at a Nazi prison camp, who just was doing their job? Is that what this is?
That's what. Yeah,
Like,
that's what
you,
it sounds like.
Just fuck you.
That's
Don't
where I
try
come
to
from.
be a man of character.
No.
It's too late.
No.
Your opportunity to be a man of character already passed.
Yeah.
And we don't give a shit what you have to say.
Like you saw him. I saw him beat up 2, 3, 4, 5 women. Yeah, why you just step in and stop him? Beat his ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the guys around R. Kelly. If you really saw him doing some of these things, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, you should be in there with him.
Yeah, exactly.
You a bodyguard? You're a fucking bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man.
And that's what I mean. Like, specifically, when it suits him, he'll tell a story when he kind of confronted him and, put him in his place. But you couldn't consistently do that? Or you didn't reach a breaking point where it's like, this dude's a fucking maniac, I need to get out of here?
Right.
Like, come on, man. I mean, it's what we said a few weeks ago. I mean, Diddy's, by all accounts now, basically a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And, anybody that sort of enabled him along the way, you're in the same boat. You facilitated this. You enabled it. There's that thing of like, it's so much of the problems and the evil things are not the actual evil doers as much as it's the people that remain silent. And now after the fact is not the time to speak up. Like, it's just not, man. It's not.
Well, my opinion is, you have somebody that's a mogul. If he was to say anything about it, who was gonna believe him?
If you have, okay, you put your phone up to door and recorded him ass raping Meek Mill, you get evidence. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like your access, you're right there. Record
No,
something, motherfucker.
I understand. I understand that part, but I'm just saying, just in general, we know that you look at Diddy. He always had a history of, what I'm saying, of assault, men and female. If anybody remember that "I Hate You Now" on video, it was the original video was him and Nas carrying a cross, and he got pissed off at Steve Spouts and whooped his ass, and that was covered. And the thing about it is, with people like him, money cover but so much, but eventually it's gonna come out. And I think that within this situation with the video, even though he paid someone to, quote unquote, get rid of the evidence, it's obvious that they must have had another copy or something, and decided like, hey, he needs to be exposed, and seeing ain't got a hold to it.
The way these things happen, though, it's like a tsunami. Like a guy rises to popularity, celebrity, wealth, mogul status, and while he's rising a whole lot of people with him. And they're all making money off this.
Of course.
And they're going to turn a blind eye to things that are distasteful because they're making money off it. Eventually, though, some of these people get left behind. And then once they're left behind and they're out of the circle, they still have these stories to tell. And maybe they're a little broke, maybe they're a little pissed or salty about how things ended with Diddy for them. And eventually they feel like, oh, I'm going to speak on this. And then it starts to come out. And then there's a point where these things tip. And now it's basically everybody get Diddy. Because there's enough out there that anybody who's got a crappy thing to say, now's the time to say it. Because it's safe, it's comfortable. It's like, it's the same thing like you have in certain other movements. Like when things happen, it becomes popular to say something supportive, and now that's where we are with the Diddy tsunami, is that it's like it's left enough people behind who are embittered enough to speak out, and it's strengthened numbers. Everyone's got a story to tell that they were afraid to tell when they were making money off it.
Yeah, my thing is not even the coming out and saying anything or having proof or whatever. My thing is just, you're there, you're a bodyguard, stop the shit.
Right.
Slap him, slam him, fight him, beat his ass, do something. Where are those stories at?
Yeah.
I understand confronting him like, hey man, you might not want to do that. I said, well man, you can go to jail, you can go to prison.
Well, what didn't we we were talking going back to like the Meg story, like wasn't there like a bodyguard in the vehicle?
Yeah.
And we're like, before it got that bad, the bodyguard should have grabbed somebody, thrown him out the car, get the people away from each other, and let the moment pass.
Are they not teaching this in bodyguard school anymore? Take control of the situation.
Yeah,
that's like the first step.
You know, it's crazy that y'all say about the whole Megan thing. I really think that her best friend was that one that shot her.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah. We do believe that.
Because the whole thing about it, I know, just to, talk about it a little bit, who's going to go in court and ask for, like, hey, immunity? Who's going to ask for immunity?
Talking about that, and that's what the friend did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's guilty right there. But, like the whole thing with, with Diddy, it was just one of the things that, thank God that if Me Too movement was still out there, oh man, he really been getting
He's getting it just like that. Like what?
No. Yeah, he's definitely getting it. I just don't know if he's going to actually see jail time unless some other stuff comes out.
Well, of course, that video was past the statute of limitations, so he's okay, with that. But I think that if any other allegations going to come out, and actually, they will probably use that video as proof, as like, hey, this guy have a history of being abusive. And
well, I mean, here's the thing: if he gets put on trial for crimes, like they don't need to introduce a video because you already, that video's already been seen. Like any juror sitting on a Diddy trial already has that video in their mind.
Yeah,
And so whatever he's saying or doing or arguing for or against him, you've seen the video. You know that that's the person in the chair right now.
And also, how big of assholes does his sons look like now? Especially the one that does most of the talking and dissing 50 Cent and all of this. And I'm talking about before the video came out, he's doing all this. Oh, yeah, and you forgot the tapes over in the other house, talking about the FBI picking up. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing to get. There's nothing on my pops, and this and that. And then this video comes out. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You need to go with him. Lock his ass up, too. He probably did some stuff,
There's been
probably a family business.
There's been a little smoke that those kids are involved in some stuff.
I think it has to be, man.
Yeah.
I think it fucking has to be. And how don't you know? You know if your dad is a fucking woman beater and booty toucher and all of this of males.
I never been a bit.
His son knows if Diddy smashed Meek Mill. Like, his son knows that.
And the thing about it, Diddy always had a history of bullshit. You know, so always had a history of bullshit.
I knew where my dad XXX videos were hidden.
Really?
When he wasn't at the house, I knew where to find them. So what I'm saying is when Diddy
His
leaves,
personal videos?
huh?
Your dad's personal videos?
Pornos.
But featuring your
Like
dad
Cherokee?
or others?
Nah, man.
Like Cherokee. Cherokee.
You went with the XXX videos. I'm like, I thought Dad was taping his exploits. I didn't know, you know.
Nah, man. I'm a chip off the old block. Those videos wouldn't last long if they did exist. But
1, 2.
But yeah, so like, come on, man. I don't know. I just think, I just thought about that sitting up here. Like, his sons, they're
full of shit.
yeah. That's it. That's the basic answer to that.
Yeah. I mean, unless they literally grew up where they just weren't around him.
They would.
But,
That's not the case.
That's funny.
How
many kids does he have?
I know of the two boys.
I know he adopted.
You got 3 boys, don't you?
3 boys?
You got twin daughters. He just had a daughter. He got Christian and the light skinned dude that looked like Wolf. And then
Look like Wolf.
One of them was trying to play football at UCLA a bunch of years ago.
That's the one that they say that it was his bodyguard that got killed. He looked like Wolf.
Oh.
He had a bodyguard named Wolf.
Oh, and they're saying that might have been his child and not Diddy. Yeah.
Oh,
I see
okay,
what you're
I
saying.
got you.
He got 5, and then he took care of.
And he got killed.
Yeah, he got killed.
Yeah.
Really, they got quotation meaning that it didn't happen. He did get killed.
Oh, okay. You teach me about quotation. Yeah, that's true. Is that Diddy? Yeah. That Diddy orchestrated.
Yeah, he did took him. I'll be sure.
Bubba's out here getting educated on the finer points of air quotes.
They say that I'm black.
He said that I'm black.
Yeah, because I'll be sure, son. He adopted him as well.
You adopted Albie Sure's son?
Yeah.
The kid that looked just like Albie Shore.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did he adopt Albie Sure's son?
Isn't Quincy a gay name? You know, like people that's gay, and you be like, that name fits you. Quincy,
Like Bruce.
A little zesty. Zesty name.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up here. I'm glad Maxie didn't make any of those 3 teams. We don't have to pay him the Superbanks now.
There you go.
There you go. Save some money.
It's all about saving money for the Sixers.
Yeah, if we can get the right guy in there.
I just need you to let him go.
Let who go?
Tobias Harris.
Oh, he's already gone.
Don't get Bubba started.
No, it's nothing to start. He's gone. My pain is over. My pain and suffering has ended, man. Jesus he came late, but he came. He didn't come when my grandma told me he was gonna come. My grandma already passed away and waiting on him.
Can we stop talking about Jesus coming?
He came, man, and I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
Huh?
Yeah, he made it, man. He made it. He made the money, and he robbed us barefaced, and he's gone. And
He's the cousins of the NBA.
Cousins, DeMarcus.
No.
Oh, Kirk.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
That is similar.
No,
Like,
it's
just
not.
Complete mediocrity and paid like on a high level.
The difference is Tobias is not mediocrity. He's a supreme bum. Kirk Cousins has never gave you 0 points and 2 rebounds, and you're 6'9".
What did Michael Porter have in Game 7? Because he apparently apologized to the team.
It was rough.
It was.
But
I
it
know
wasn't
that.
0 points.
I think 7 points.
7 points.
0 points and 2 rebounds is hard to do.
Did your boy Wagner apologize to the team after Game 7?
Wagner, yeah, that was awful too. But he was
Is that
at
the
least
move?
he was like what 1 for 12 or something.
Is that
actually,
the new move though? You apologize to the team.
You have to. You have to.
yeah, he actually felt. Yeah, he felt.
Yeah, you have to apologize.
I want him to stand in front of the team and apologize though.
Do you want it on social media? YouTube?
Could put it on there. It'd be interesting. I'm here for it. Why not? It'd be funny. Be awkward.
Awkward, not funny.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put a little flavor on it.
No,
Sure.
it could be funny. Like if he doesn't sound sincere, or there's a lot of ways that could go.
Yeah.
Or if dudes are just not buying it, like he's already not a liked guy.
Well, Josh Giddey, he didn't apologize. What he did was saying his outside circumstances affected his play.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of
I thought that was interesting.
blamed outsiders.
Yeah.
It was a weird.
Hey, they were calling me a rapist all year, and that made me feel bad.
Look what it did to Kobe, my friend.
It strengthened him.
81 points.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
He was ball. He
Yeah.
was ball.
That's why you
ball
don't
like
have
it-
Mamba mentality.
ball like it was the
You
last
have,
day on the court.
You have koala bear mentality.
They were doing that to Kobe.
You
That was a
lost-
thing. Like they
you,
were.
yeah.
Yeah, like
for sure.
You know?
You saw the Gilbert Arenas story. The Lakers were on the bus, and Tiger Woods had just won one of the golf tournaments, like a torn meniscus or whatever. And dudes on the bus like, man, that's so tough. That's incredible. Kobe had headphones on. Takes the headphones off. How about averaging 40 with 5 years sitting over your head? Put his headphones back on. Nobody
5 years
said
of prison.
shit. Yeah.
Hey, did you see that Draymond and Shaq interview?
No. What'd they say?
A bunch of stuff was said, but so one, they was talking about Kobe, and Shaq asked why Kobe is never in the GOAT conversation. And then number two, they were talking about that, the Golden State team with KD and going up against the Lakers team, Kobe, Shaq, whatever.
If they
D-Fish,
played
Roy,
each
if
other.
they played against each
Okay,
other,
I
who
gotcha.
would win? It's Draymond and Shaq talking.
Yeah.
And, of course, each one is going for their team. Draymond says it would have been over in 5-6 max. And Shaq's like, no way. Who's going to guard me? Who's going to guard me? And, Draymond is just more – I don't know if it's – Draymond is just a better talker of basketball because he's actually talking strategy and stuff like that. No, Shaq is saying, who's going to guard me? Who's going to guard Kobe? That's it.
Yeah, no. It's kind of the way they played, though.
And the big thing out of it,
He was no strategy in that.
huh?
There was no strategy. Shaq was
Nah.
35 and 23.
but literally as a human,
That's just not accurate, though. Man. I know we talked about this before. I'm not on the Shaq was unstoppable train. I don't know. I was there. I was watching it. I didn't see what y'all saw.
It was.
I didn't see like Shaq is the most dominant player ever. What are y'all watching?
He showing was doing a
Did
lot
y'all
of
watch-
offensive foul.
Did y'all watch the Detroit Pistons series?
That's the only series you can point to.
That's not the only series I can point to. The man played like 18 years. Even if you take the fucking 10-year prime or whatever. I saw Akeem Olajuwon. I saw.
He didn't play Akeem in his prime though.
Huh?
He wasn't.
Okay, so he was a baby. So we're not counting that. We don't count. So,
If you saying 10-year prime, you got to start.
or 10 years. I'm just talking about before he got fat and out of shape. That's what I'm talking about. Anytime before that.
Well, he didn't have a 10-year prime because he was fat and out of shape, but he had like an 8-year prime where he was unstoppable.
How? When is that? What years are you talking about?
He was a battering ram
Shaq never averaged 30 a game.
during.
Shaq never averaged 30 points a game a single year in his entire career. Embiid has done it like 3 or 4 times now. All the big-time centers have. Wilt has done it. Kareem, Joel, all of these guys. And y'all telling me Shaq is more dominant. What is dominance? Because he elbow a guy and dunk a ball? Is that dominance?
Those guys you just named, none of them went 15-1 in the playoffs.
What are you talking about? 1 year?
That's dominant.
When he played against Allen Iverson? I mean,
That
come
was.
on, man.
You said Al Iverson like that.
I fuck with Allen Iverson, but Allen Iverson is let's be realistic.
Those three,
Allen Iverson, a bunch of truck drivers. That's what they were.
you were disrespecting for the Philly, man.
That's what they were.
He right. He right.
Disrespectful.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's not that impressive to me.
If they would play Milwaukee, it definitely would have been different.
Milwaukee. Who was on
No,
Milwaukee?
the Ray Allen and
Sam
Sam
Cassell,
team.
Red Dog, Tim
Big
Thomas.
Glenn. But even then, that's not impressive. But I'm just not a. When you guys say that, he elbow a guy, he'll dunk it, he'll scream, and the guy fall. It looked dominant, but it was not dominant.
It was physically dominant. It was absolutely physically dominant.
So okay, so
it was not as here.
I can say Giannis was more dominating.
No, because
Why can I say that?
I'm gonna tell you why. If you allow me to break it down.
I'm quiet.
You haven't been.
The league, people who consider the teams that consider themselves contenders, they literally hired centers to take fouls. So they had 2 guys on the roster that was just there to foul out.
Okay.
That's dominance.
That's dominance.
Yes.
Yeah. When your presence dictates roster composition on teams throughout the league, that's a dominant thing.
That happens to every great player.
Then they're dominant.
Huh?
Then that's
But what makes him the most dominant is what I'm trying to understand. There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect
I'm not
here.
saying that.
But
I'm not going to argue somebody else's argument.
But that is the argument. You know that they say Shaq is the most dominant player ever.
But that's mostly Shaq's basically waving that flag. But if that's his argument, it's hard to debate it when I've seen him in the finals being guarded by literally the whole team, and he's dunking on the whole team, and it's 5 people on him.
Now, when I say Wilt Chamberlain did that, y'all told me, he played against a bunch of 5'5" white guys.
Because he did.
He did not. You see what I'm saying? So that's the disconnect.
Who did Wilt play against outside of Bill Russell that could guard him?
He played against Kareem too.
Okay.
Y'all forget that he played against Bill Laimbeer. He played against.
He didn't play against Bill
Not Bill Laimbeer. The other tall guy.
Bill Walton.
If you're talking about who guarded him, and you said the other tall guy.
I mean, I'm
Bill
30.
Walton, but that was late.
Still.
But I'm saying they might have played a handful of times.
Yeah. Wilt is not Shaquille O'Neal. Wilt was still winning championships at 36 years old. Like he didn't fall off. And with the Lakers, when he was with the Lakers
72.
with Jerry West,
That was 72.
He was an older guy.
That was 72 though.
Yeah.
I think that was still before Bill Walton came in the league.
I didn't say Bill. You said
right.
Yeah.
No, but when I okay, but I mean like I've actually since you became a big champion of Wilt, I've looked more into him. And I do have a lot of respect for him. And that's why I'm not in the camp to say Shaq's the most dominant ever. But that dude was dominant in his era and belongs in the conversation of elite big men of all time.
Of course.
And that's all we're saying. Like that's it. Now if you look
That's
at
not the
any
conversation.
if you look but that's the conversation for idiots.
Because there's no argument to that. That's like that's like common
But
sense.
that's the conversation. Like the hyperbolic, the highest hyperbolic extent is the most.
Yeah.
But the argument really is dominance. So when you talk about dominance, he's in that conversation as the most. So he's 1 through 5. That's the conversation.
That's fair.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. That's why like we should not make arguments against like hyperbolic positions that are held only by idiots.
We should if it's a majority rule. Like another one is like Michael Jordan is the GOAT, which you would agree with. That's a hyperbolic. That's the same thing. Michael Jordan being the GOAT and Shaq being the most dominant player. That is the same exact level of statement. But one you believe. And one you're saying is ludicrous to say.
No, I mean I'm too like
saying?
I mean because I'm a thinking person, I'm not gonna die on that hill. I'm comfortable regarding Michael Jordan as the GOAT, but I also am okay with somebody finding something else in that. Like the arguments are close enough. You have strong arguments on multiple guys. And that's okay. That is what it is. But I'm also the reality. I'm not going to obsess over something that's not going to be proven on the court. You know, Wilt is not playing Prime Michael. Prime Michael's not playing LeBron. LeBron ain't playing Wilt. Like, none of that shit's happening. It's all irrelevant. Like for me, for my sanity, for my viewing pleasure, I watch the game right now, and I like players in the game now and evaluate them. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm tired of arguing against idiots.
Yeah.
I'm tired of arguing hyperbolic positions that are not defendable, that make no sense.
Yeah.
It's really idiotic. And I think, bigger picture, we as people are so fixated on that the discourse on any subject has lost nuance.
Yeah.
And it's basically two people shouting from bad positions that mine is the best and mine is the best. And that's not it. That's not life. That's not reality.
No.
And we waste ourselves, having that argument.
Yeah.
The interest, the nuance is kind of assessing and evaluating, and to ponder, Wilt's probably the most athletic 7-foot person to ever walk the earth. Total athleticism. So if that's a true statement, could he not have functioned in any era and played very well? And again, then you add the other stuff of he probably would have trained different, nutrition would have been different. What the hell would that mean? And then you hear random stories. You heard that Magic Johnson UCLA story?
Yeah, where
he was probably 50 or something.
He was 50
and just
blocked
dominated an entire pickup game
of NBA
against high-level
players,
NBA prime players.
Prime NBA players blocked every single shot at 50 years old.
Who's that?
Wilt
at
yeah.
50.
Yeah, but they also say he scored 100 points and there's no video or
But you know what happened.
we don't know what happened.
It's an NBA record. It's a record. That's like saying that the fucking whatever Civil War didn't happen or whatever.
It's not like saying that.
It is
because we don't
man.
have live footage.
It's like saying slavery. It's like saying slavery didn't happen. That's what it's saying.
It's not like saying that at all. It's just saying that.
Where is the video? I didn't see my great granddaddy being in slavery picking cotton.
He never scored 100 points.
All we got is movies.
I never scored 100 points either.
I don't know, maybe, man. My jump shot, I could have
somewhere.
derived. It came from somewhere.
But cameras existed in that time, and a lot of other things got caught on camera. For some reason, Wilt didn't get caught on camera. There's no pictures. Nobody said they was there.
No, yeah. How every Wilt game wasn't televised. That's just a crime.
That is funny.
That's just
And not even not televised.
I understand that.
Not recorded.
I understand the NBA games weren't whatever back then, but they had the big games. You know what I'm saying?
I'm joking about that, but
No. I'm on your side. I don't know. That's a crime.
We're having a hyperbolic conversation. When people get emotional about it and they no, Jordan is the best, and it's okay.
Like
now
Skip Bayless.
there's no way to prove that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can say who we think are the best, and we can present our argument, but it's just an argument.
Yeah.
I think somebody that take it overboard is Skip Bayless, because if you say anything about Jordan, he just goes so overboard.
Skip's a bum, man. Skip's a bum.
All right, well, we're in the show there. We'll be back next week. We don't have a guest locked in, but that's when I'll start my Atlanta story series. So
I'm looking forward to Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Atlanta years.
There we go. Next week.